Hello guys, welcome to my new video. Well, if you're struggling with your IELTS writing or you're not getting the band that you want in the IELTS writing, this video is a must watch. Okay guys, I'm going to ask you a question before I start. Have you ever wished if you can get inside the examiner's brain and really understand or know what they really think? Or maybe if you can just get some tips, if you could show your writing to the real IELTS examiner and just get some tips from him or her on how to get a band 7 or above. Well, if the answer is yes to that question, stay tuned guys, because we're going to do exactly that. So, what are we going to cover in today's video? We will look at the real IELTS examiner's comments. Yes guys, you heard me right. I'm not lying or anything, I'm not making it up, yes. These are the real IELTS examiner comments, and we're going to look at that. And we will see what they say about how to get band 7 or above in the IELTS writing. So in other words, we're going to learn what things an essay should have in order to get a band 7 or above, and this is according to the IELTS examiners. Now this one is actually the first part of the series, okay? And in this one, I'm going to cover the 3 tips which are given by the IELTS examiners. So we'll be looking at their comments, and what are we going to do with the IELTS examiner comments? How are they going to help us? Well, guys, literally, we're going to dissect those comments, yes. And we're going to get all our tips from those examiner comments, okay? Well, why does it help? Because if we can understand what the examiners want, okay, we give them exactly what they want, and in return, they give us a band 7 or higher. So it's a win-win situation. So the first tip is related to the length of the task. Now, I told you before that we're going to look at the real IELTS examiner comments. So let us see what the examiner actually said related to the length of the task. I've put it in inverted commas because this is what they really said. If the response is under length, it can limit the band score rating. Now, how can we use this examiner comment to our advantage? So there are a few things that we can learn from this statement. Firstly, the length of the writing task 1 and 2 is crucial. Okay, guys? Now, you might know, and for those who don't, you should write a minimum of 150 words for the task 1 and at least 250 words for the task 2. And now, if you look at the screen, I've actually highlighted that in red, okay? Minimum means it shouldn't be less than this, okay? So you must write at least or a minimum of 150 words for task 1 and 250 words for the task 2. Why is that important? Well, I just told you what the examiner said. If the response is under length, it can limit the band score rating. So it means that you cannot get a 7 or above if you write too less. Okay, so you understand how crucial this factor is. Now, guys, you should remember, like if you write too less, it tells the examiner that your writing skills are not up to the mark. Okay, so you cannot get a band 7 or above because you cannot produce an appropriate length writing piece, right? So the examiner might think your English is not good, you can't produce the right length, so they won't give you a 7 or above. So let's look at what is the ideal length for task 2. Well, it is between 250 to 280. That's the ideal length that you should go for. And remember guys, okay, there is no upper word limit, okay? So there is no maximum number of words that they tell you, okay? But this is very important for people whose English level is not very high. They shouldn't write very long essays, guys, because thing is, if you write more, there's a high probability of you making more mistakes, and that is obviously going to affect your band score. Okay, so the ideal length that I would recommend is between 250 to 280 for task 2. Now let's look at the next one. Examiner's tip number 2. Now this one is related to organization of your writing tasks. So first of all, let us look at what the real IELTS examiner said about this one. So the examiner was marking one of the writing pieces of one of the students that appeared in the IELTS exam, and the examiner comment was, "The organization is good." Or in another writing piece, the examiner said, "The organization is evident, it's clear." Okay? So how can we use this examiner's comment for our benefit? So how can we use it to get band 7 or higher? So the first thing we can learn from this comment is that our writing tasks should be well organized. So now you might ask me, what do I mean when I say that the writing piece should be well organized? Or how do you organize your writing piece properly? What does it mean? It means that our writing piece should be divided clearly into paragraphs. Okay? So it should be divided into paragraphs, basically. Now, generally, as you might know, the first paragraph is an introduction, then there are 2 body paragraphs, and then the last one is the conclusion. So this is how you should organize it in paragraphs. Now, another question that comes to mind is, what is the ideal number of paragraphs? Okay, now you should remember this. There is no hard and fast rule, but most IELTS teachers, they recommend following a 4-paragraph structure because it is more effective. Okay. Now, the next bit is regarding organization, but it is related to the type of question. So you should remember, guys, that your organization, the way you organize your whole essay, will vary according to the type of questions. So as you might already know, that there are different types of questions in the IELTS, especially in the writing task too. So you should organize your essay in such a way that your writing or your essay is easy to follow and it's easy to read. Let me give you an example to make it more understandable. Let's say you got this question in the IELTS exam. Nowadays, overcrowding is a big problem in major cities of many countries. Why is this? And what measures could be taken? Now, this one is one particular type of essay that you can get in your IELTS exam. And it's basically about the reasons or the causes and solutions essay. And guys, why do I keep on using this one in my videos is because this is a real IELTS question, okay? This is what I got in my IELTS exam, okay? So I can tell you very effectively how I got a 7.5 in the IELTS writing. Okay, so let us look at how we'll organize this one. So the first paragraph is an introduction. The second paragraph should be regarding the reasons of overcrowding. Okay. The next or the third paragraph should be related to solutions for the overcrowding problem. And the last paragraph, paragraph number 4, should be conclusion. And guys, I'm going to add another tip which is very important. When you write your paragraphs, okay, remember to make it related to just one particular idea. This is very important. So for this example, paragraph 2, this should all be about the reasons of overcrowding, okay? So you should not mix reasons with solutions, okay? So if you're writing a particular paragraph, make one central idea. This is very important, okay, guys? There should be one central idea in your paragraph. If the paragraph 3 is related to solutions, it should only be about solutions. You should not write anything else, okay? And in conclusion, obviously, you summarize whatever. You shouldn't make any new points in your conclusion, first of all. And you should summarize whatever points you have actually discussed in the paragraphs before, in your writing before. You should just make a small summary of that, okay? And just conclude. Now, let's look at the next one. Okay, examiner's tip number 3. This is related to vocabulary. Now, guys, this is very important, because there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to vocabulary. What kind of vocabulary should be used? What is the right level? What is the right vocabulary that should be used? Okay, so First, let us see what the real IELTS examiner commented for this aspect of the writing task. So, when the examiner was actually marking one of the essays, this is what they wrote, and that essay got a 7.5. So, there is a wide range of vocabulary used naturally and appropriately. Okay, so as I said, we're going to dissect this comment as well, and we're going to get all the tips that we can get in order to get a band 7 or higher. So the first tip that we can actually deduce from this statement is use topic specific vocabulary. Okay, guys. Now, you might ask me, what is topic specific vocabulary? Guys, these are the words which are related to the given topic. Okay, let's say if you got an essay question and the topic was about crime and punishment. So the topic specific vocabulary is the vocabulary which is specific to this topic, to the topic of crime and punishment. So these are the words like offender, life sentence, juvenile offenders. So you see, all these words are actually related to one given particular topic, and the topic was crime and punishment. Now, the next thing that we can really learn from this comment that the examiner made, that the real IELTS examiner made, is to use a range of vocabulary, okay? Because the examiner said this essay got a 7.5 and the examiner wrote that there is a wide range of vocabulary that is used, okay? So it means you should use a whole range of vocabulary. In other words, you should not repeat the words, guys, okay? You should avoid repetition of words. This is very important. Let's look at this thing in a little bit more detail. So you should remember that the examiners, the IELTS examiners, hate repetition, okay? Because that tells them that your vocabulary, okay, is limited, okay? And you should never tell the IELTS examiner that, okay? So you should know topic-specific vocabulary for the common IELTS Task 2 topics, okay? Because there are some common themes that they repeat in the Task 2 essays, okay, like crime, like punishment, crime punishment, like education, like fitness, like health, okay? So these are the common topics that do come up quite frequently in the IELTS Task 2 topics, okay? So you should know some topic-specific vocabulary, and that will really help, guys. Okay, now what will happen if you use the same words again and again? This is important for you because you should know the consequences if you do make this mistake, okay? So it will lower your vocabulary score, and that is 25% of your total mark. 1/4, guys. It might seem that it's not going to make a big difference, but it does, guys, okay? Because it's 25% of your total mark. Now, from the very comment that we actually read, okay, what else can we learn? The examiner said that the vocabulary used was used naturally and appropriately. Okay, now we should understand in a little bit more detail what does the examiner mean, okay? What does it mean when the examiner says that the vocabulary used was natural and it was appropriate? Let's look at both of these in turn. First, we'll look at what does the examiner mean by saying the vocabulary used was natural, okay? It means, guys, that you should not try and force high-level words, okay? Never force them, okay? Don't try and show off to the examiner, oh, I know a lot of high-level words, okay? This is not gonna be good, guys. Because this is what the IELTS examiner is telling us, okay? So, what you should do, you should use the high-level words or good vocabulary only when it's necessary, okay? And what does it mean when we say that when it's necessary? It's necessary when it really helps to convey your message to the reader effectively, okay? So if it is helping you to put your message across to the reader, to the examiner, okay, and it's clarifying what you're trying to say, okay, then you should use that vocabulary, okay? So only use it when it's really necessary, okay? So that's what the examiner really means when he or she says about using the vocabulary naturally, okay? Now let's look at what the examiner meant when he said that the vocabulary used was appropriate. So it means that the word used should be used accurately or appropriately or correctly, okay? Now, this involves 2 or 3 things, and I'm going to explain each one, okay? So, if you're using the word accurately, you should use the correct spelling. Guys, this is very important, okay? So whenever you're learning a new word, okay, remember to learn the spelling as well. The correct spelling is important because it comes under the heading of using the word accurately. And this is one of the criteria, okay? Now, it's a big mistake that many students make, okay? They will learn a whole list of words, high level words, okay? That they memorize it, okay? But they don't know the correct spelling, or they don't know how to use it accurately or appropriately, which is wrong because obviously it's going to affect your band score. Also, when the examiner says that you should use the vocabulary or the words accurately, it means that you should know the right form of the word that you have to use in particular situations. So you have to vary the form of the word that you use according to what you are saying, okay? So there are different forms of the words. There is the noun form, there is the verb form which shows action, there is the adjective form which describes a particular noun, okay, and then there is an adverb form, okay? So which form you should use, you should know, and which will obviously vary according to what you're trying to say in your writing piece, okay, or in your essay. So you should learn the different forms when you use a particular word, or when you learn a particular word. You should learn all the right forms, all the forms of the words, okay? You should know the noun form, the verb form, the adjective form, okay? This is very important because it comes under using the word appropriately. Also, the third point is using the correct tense, okay? Guys, this is very important bit, okay? So if you were writing, let's say your writing task was in the past tense, okay? So you should use the past tense form of the word, okay? I'll just give you a general example. For example, if I was writing in the past tense and the word is visit, okay? So I will use the correct form or the correct tense basically. And I will say, I visited my friend last night, okay? But if my writing was in the future tense, or I was talking about the future, then I will say, I will visit my friend tomorrow, okay? So you should vary according to what you're writing and what you're conveying, what your message is. So this is very important, guys. Now, look, this might seem that these kind of things are very trivial, they don't matter, but I have shown you the proof, okay? This is what the IELTS examiner actually say, the real IELTS examiners say about these kind of things. And if you can take control, okay, and if you can actually practice all these kind of things, okay, it would really help you to get a 7 or above, okay? Because these things do matter. They might seem trivial, they might seem that they're not very important, okay, but they are, okay? And that's what we have learned from the real IELTS examiner tips, okay? So guys, this was all for today. I hope you liked the video, okay? And if you found the video helpful, please feel free to like and comment in the comment section below. Also, if you know anybody who's preparing for the IELTS exam, please share this video with them so that more and more people can benefit, because we all know that writing is very difficult, okay? And there are many people who are struggling and they're just getting a band 6 or a 6.5, okay? And they just don't know what to do to get a 7, okay? So share these tips with them so more people can benefit, okay? Also, if you are preparing for IELTS exam, okay, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I've got a lot of free videos related to IELTS, and obviously they will help you if you're preparing for the exam. And I will leave the link in the description below, okay? Thanks a lot for watching, and thanks a lot to all my subscribers. I wish you all luck, okay? And guys, remember, never give up. I'm sure you can do it as well, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.